All right. Oh my God. All right, guys. We have some new changes to the channel. We're going to be making some new changes, some new things we're going to be doing out here, guys. Doing out here in these streets. With that being said, guys, today's episode of the Pitchfork podcast, it's going to be about several things. But one thing is definitely going to be about, guys. It's definitely going to be about. It's going to be about several topics. But the first one is going to be, I am for defunding the police. Change my mind. I am for defunding the police. Change my mind. Can you change my mind? Can you make me think differently than what I already think? First of all, I would love to know what people think about defunding the police in the first place. What is it that you think makes people have such a visceral reaction to defunding the police? What do you think makes the police so special? You know, in any other scenario, in any other field, you would have people out there who would gladly defund any organization that was responsible for nearly half of the things that police are responsible for. But yet, for some reason, when it comes to police, people don't want to defund them. People don't want to even talk about it. They don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want to hear it. And to me, that is so bizarre. That is the antithesis of what it means to seek freedom, or what it means to be an American. Yes, I'm calling people who are going against the defunding police, I'm calling you un-American. I'm calling you un-American swine. I call you un-American, uncultured swine. And I'm thinking that you of all people, should be ashamed of yourself. Because the fact of the matter is, I've noticed that people who go against defunding the police, first of all, don't even understand what that even means. That's why I would love to know, what do people who hear the phrase defund the police, what do they even think that actually means? That's what I want to know. What is it about the phrase defund the police? Is it that people, when they hear it, it makes them have such a visceral reaction? What is it about that phrase? What is it do you think is about that phrase that makes people just freak the fuck out? What is it? Do you think that it's about standing against black people? Do you think it's about a political influence? What is it do you think? I would love to know. I would love to know. What is it do you think that people hear when they hear the phrase defund the police? What is it? What is it? Why is it that whenever I say the phrase defund the police, people hear things like, you just want crime in the streets? Why is that? Don't you find that weird? I find that weird. I think it's bizarre, personally. I think it's strange. I think that it's bootlicky. It's disgusting. It's the kind of behavior that not only would I find detestable if anyone does it in my presence, but I find it just detestable in general. Why do you think people go out of their way to defend cops, knowing that most police officers are bad people? Why do you think that? Why do you think that? Why do you think that people go out of their way to defend cops, knowing that most cops are bad people? Why do you think that? Do you think that their dislikeness of police officers has anything to do with an intrinsic linkage, an intrinsic belief that by standing with police officers, they're standing against black people? I'm just asking questions. I mean, I'm not suggesting that's the case. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. I mean, what is it do you think is the malfunction here? What do you think is the belief here? Do they think that by standing with police officers, that's somehow going to keep black people down? I'm just asking. What do you think is the reasoning behind so many people standing behind defunding the police, when the very notion of defunding the police, there's nothing wrong with it. They are an arm of the government. Why shouldn't they be defunded? What makes them so special? That's my question. What makes them so special that they are untouchable? Tell me. What makes police officers so special that they are untouchable? I'm just asking out of curiosity. Are they magically not an agent of the freaking state? Do they not carry out government orders? Again, the number to call in is 253-203-6784. Again, the number to call in is 253-203-6784. If you don't agree with what I have to say, guys, call in. Call in. The phone lines are wide open. The phone lines are wide open. I'm waiting. I am waiting for someone to show up here and come with nonsense. Because for some reason, I got a feeling, right? I got the strange feeling that people who talk about, you shouldn't talk about defunding the police, right? I got a strange feeling they don't even know what defund the police even means. Got a strange feeling. They don't even know what defund the police even means. I got a strange feeling. They don't even know what it means. Do you know what defund the police even means? No? No? You just stand against something that because it's something that you presume, if I stand against this, I can keep the darkies down. Right? What is it that you think you're going to accomplish by standing against defunding the very people that are abusing people? What is it do you think you're going to accomplish? I'm just curious. What is it do you gain from standing against equality? What is it do you gain? Right? I want to know, what is it that you gain by standing against people just trying to fight back against a system that has been abusing them? What do you gain from that? What do you gain from that? I want to know, what do people believe about defunding the police? I have my Discord chat open. My Discord link is open in the stream right now. It's open in the live chat right now. It's right there. Join the freaking Discord. Join my Discord right there. I reposted the link. If you want to call in to leave a comment or just debate me or just have a conversation, number's right there. 253-203-6784. I'm waiting. Because the one thing that people always argue against me about defunding the freaking police is that I'm giving you a chance to directly confront me now. You have a direct chance to confront me now. You have a direct chance to go at me. To not hide in the freaking comment section. That's why I don't have a problem with moderating your comments, because I do a live show every day. Every day. I do a live show every day. There is no excuse to not confront me. There's no excuse to not go at me. There is no excuse to sit there and hide in the comment section. No. No, you won't be getting that opportunity. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm not hiding. I'm not running. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Explain to me, why is it that you think I'm so wrong? Explain to me why you think that defunding the police is a bad idea. No, I want to know. I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me why you think defunding the police is a bad idea. Because I think that defunding the police is a great idea. Not only do I think it's a great idea, it should be our going pattern going forward. Every police department should be defunded. Funds should be reallocated. More than half of the things that they actually respond to, they shouldn't even respond to. The police should have a much smaller presence in our lives overall. The police should have a smaller presence in our lives overall. And if you don't agree, explain to me why not. Explain to me why not. Explain to me why you think police officers are somehow immune to criticism, right? They're somehow immune to any other rule that we would normally set for people who continuously violate the rights of citizens. Explain to me what makes them so special. What makes them so above the fray? What makes them God? What makes them better than me and you? What is it? Tell me. I want to know. More crime. Flame Lord Jeeves. More crime. Hey, Flame Lord Jeeves. There's a number to call in. There's also a Discord server to join in on. Come on, join in. Join into the voice chat. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's discuss things. I want to talk. So let me go ahead and Zabby joined the my Discord server. So Zabby's on the line. Let me go ahead and jump into the stream room real quick with Zabby. All right, Zabby's on the line here. Let me hey Zabby, are you there?
Hello, I'm here, man.
All right, so Zabby, you joined the show. Tell me exactly, how do you feel about defunding the police? I'm going to mute myself and just let you talk.
How I feel about defending the police. Let's see, I just joined, so there we go. Defending the police in America. It's quite of a controversial topic. Right. So, in America, from like, this is an outsider's perspective, right? I'm in the I'm a European. I haven't ever been to America. The only thing I know from America is what I see online, what I hear by my news, my national news, which has nothing to do with America or any larger agenda. Everything I get from America is from basically online interaction. And, searching things out for myself, researching everything I read, because in America there's a wide variety of detail in the media. Like, you can filter through like 16 different news pages, and then you only have half the picture, and then you need to know, and then like 5 hours later the government source comes, and then you have like a fuller picture of how the entire situation develops. So you need to be quite good at this eventually, as like to understand what's going on in America. And what I've been seeing from all the way back here on the other side of the big ocean is that in America there's a very large problem with the police. They appear to be, from like a European perspective, because we have police that in England, for instance, there's police that have no guns. In my country, there's a very different type of police force, a very different type of police culture. and a very different kind of attitude towards the police. And the reason in America why the attitude towards the police is so garbage in some places is that you have a police force that consists largely of ex-military dudes, people that went to police academies. But those police academies, they don't train you for 4 years. They train you for like, what is it, like 7 months or something, or in some states it's like what, 15 weeks. I don't know what kind of numbers it is. It's ridiculously low. They in the last 10 years of reading back American news, you come to hear about like these very weird stories that only come from America. There must be some kind of reason why America is the only country in the entire world where you routinely get news like cop accidentally throws flashbang into baby crib in like the wrong house they raided, or cop shoots 7-year-old in the face or something similar. So from an outsider's perspective, you can never see that
I'm gonna pause you there. By the way, what Zabby's talking about there, those things have actually happened. There was a situation where a flashbang was thrown into a crib, and there was a situation where a cop shot a kid in the face, just for no reason. Just there was no gun, there was no weapon, there was no cell phone, there was no fake gun. Just shot him in the face. Just said, fuck it, just shoot him in the face. You know, it was like,
it
you know.
depends. No, it's not. I think the specific story I'm talking about refers to a distress call from a mom with a kid who is autistic and had like a rage fit, and the police dealt with it like it was a domestic dispute. But because the kid was autistic, I think there was a story about like how the mom ran outside, screamed towards the officers that her kid is autistic and that he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, so he's just aggressive for no reason, and the cops killed him. Like, you're sending a practically militarized force, or a small militarized force, a private army, if you will, towards a dispute or an incident, a civilian incident, not a military one, that needs to be resolved by civilian responders. But you get this militarized arrowhead that goes into a problem they're not designed to deal with at this very moment in America, and that just shows in the type of accidents that we see. Like, I'm sure those cops don't mean to kill the wrong person, but they're trained to shoot first and ask questions later. They developed some kind of elitist culture, which you can clearly see in the way that the Blue Lives Matter movement came up in a response to the Black Lives Matter movement after another cop killed a black man for no apparent reason. Like, people think that this is like something only from like, oh, this is only happening once or twice a year. If you read the news and follow how many there are in America, like, I'm sure it's shocking. Like, you can put a counter on it, just like you can put a counter on how many school shootings happen in a year in America. Like, it shows there are some things in America that are fucking broken, and the police system seems to be one of them. So there needs to be something done with that. You can just renew the entire system and try to design something that actually works. Hint, hint. Look at the Europeans, because they seem to know what they're doing. Like, I don't see what the issue is.
In a federalist system, you're not allowed to do that because it's left up to the individual jurisdictions, as opposed to a wide, overarching organization that applies to each jurisdiction.
By the way,
Sure,
that is. But I gotta introduce him, guys. That is Sky. He is another guy who called into the podcast. They're both in my Discord server. So guys, you should join my Discord server if you want to join in on the conversation. Sky and Zabby. So Zabby, if you don't know who Sky is, he's my roommate from combat, and he's a pretty nice guy. So both Zabby and Jake and Sky, this should be a very, very interesting interaction. But guys, go ahead and carry on.
Should I also introduce who I am, Sky? Because this is the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah. So this is
go
ahead.
Right. My name is Zabby. I'm about 24, and what I mainly am is I am an interested person. I study chemistry. and I'm currently working towards finishing my master's degree in organic synthetic chemistry. So yeah, it's very interesting. Like, my job's very cool. I like what I study, and the thing with chemistry is that, like, when you learn it, you learn so much more than just chemistry. You know why shit happens, and it's very interesting kind of perspective in the world to just look at something in general. Like, for instance, I look to my left to the door, and I instantly know, like, that it's coated with some kind of paint, and I know, like, what kind of pigment must be in there, because, and I can vaguely imagine, like, some kind of structure that goes with it. It's very strange. Like, looking at a candle can, it's like start perplexing you at points. It's stupid. So yeah,
Okay.
anyway, that's me.
Cool. I disagree with DA because on the defund the police, because the police are a corrupt organization to a certain extent. You know, that's with most government things. You know, there's going to be people, just based off the law of large numbers. There's going to be some people that are corrupt, and there's no more. You don't have to look as far as Spartanburg, South Carolina, where most of the police department's money in Spartanburg, South Carolina, comes from civil asset forfeiture. And if you defund the police, they'll start stealing from their citizens even more so. So what would be ideal is if you ban civil asset forfeiture to such an extent that you can't just be like, oh, I'm just going to take this money from this person and then use that money to fund your illegal activities or whatever. Because the moment you take away their primary funding source, they're going to go after their
That's quite a different. That's quite a
secondary
different.
funding source.
That's quite a different and weird interpretation of what would happen if you would do that. Because
I mean, I firmly believe that would happen.
It depends, like, how you do it. Like, like the first argument you pointed out, where you said, like, that it was federally impossible. I mean,
yep.
I'm sure you can't. I'm sure you can't force them to do it.
No,
but
it's in the amendment to the Constitution.
I understand.
You can't force a
No.
specific
I understand that you can't force them to do it. But if you're the government and you have all this federal money, I'm sure you can incentivize, say, like, well, if you follow the government's plan of how your police should function, which is 4-year training, you need to, only patrol in pairs of 2, you need to have an department, you need to have, like, a federally registered for, complaints against someone, like, completely a rework of the government that is completely, copied from a country where, like, this shit works, right? And, rework the police around that, like, rewrite their handbooks, so to say. And then just, well, if you follow the government program, you get extra federal funds for what you need to do. And then you can get a bigger police fund, for instance. But you need to follow the restrictions of our rules. You can do that, right?
I gotta make a quick point out, guys. I actually posted a link to the video I made about Spartanburg to kind of back up what Sky said here. But Sky, to kind of interject, there's a few things you said that I have an issue with. Number one, what you're suggesting is because you do something, the cops are going to do even more illegal things. You're not making an argument for me to defund them. You're making me want to defund them even more now. The other thing is that the second issue with what you said, specifically it's in terms of defunding them and therefore, like, Chuck Wright. Well, Chuck Wright, in Spartanburg, he's actually the sheriff. This guy's done a lot of things. And it didn't matter if you give him money or you don't give him money, he's still gonna do bad things. So again, if he does bad things with or without money, and I think that more so than most people, I've done my research on Chuck Wright and the entire Spartanburg Sheriff's Department because it's one of the most viewed videos on the entirety of YouTube. I would definitely say that what you're saying doesn't quite add up, because if what you're saying were not an issue, then Chuck Wright would definitely show me that that he could be not corrupt, with or without money. But this man has been sheriff since the 90s, and Spartanburg has been doing that since the 90s. So that tells me that with or without qualified immunity, he's still going to try to do that because it's South Carolina and it's one of the worst states in the entire union. I mean, we had a freaking sheriff who quite literally threatened a public official on air. It was on the late show tonight with John freaking Oliver. My channel went viral because of that. And if the sheriffs openly do that kind of stuff, like openly threaten people, I don't think defunding them is gonna make them suddenly better or worse. I think they're gonna be just as bad as they always were.
You want to respond to that, or can I ask a question first?
Go ahead.
You can go.
So, Sky,
Yeah, what's up?
you do see that there's a problem with the American police force, right?
Yeah.
Right. So let's say how we would work out the action to defund the police. I don't think taking all their money away would be like useful, because then you suddenly have a police force with zero funding, and then people can get paid and shit. So that doesn't work. But I think you can generally rework the rules, or make it in such a way, like, how do you say, calculate how much money a police force should have. Like, for instance, this police force is, this amount of square miles is their area, this amount of people and houses live there, about, and then you just give them money based on that, which means that they should have a minimum of X amount of police cars and X amount of officers. You could just budget out how a police force should be. Why do that?
Guys, can we take a quick pause? We actually have a live caller trying to call in, so you guys can be on the line as we're actually discussing this. So we're gonna call this person back, okay? We got a live Skype call. Let me go ahead and give them a ring back. So they call from a 253 number. I'm not gonna say their number so that I don't dox them, but that is a local number.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Yes, you are live on the Pitchfork podcast. This is Devil's Advocate. How you doing?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. All right. So tell me, how do you feel about defunding the police? Tell me, like roughly, like how you feel about it, and tell me, what exactly do you think about me saying defund the police, and what do you think that phrase actually means?
Well, I saw you pull up the definition, which it said redirecting the money to different organizations, and I can somewhat get that, but want to hear my opinion on it.
Yes.
Oh yeah. By the way, I'm also Toby the Tobias.
Right. You are a normal viewer. So I would also like to go ahead and point something out. If you can get more people to call in, there's a $50 Amazon gift card that is a prize. So get all your friends to call in. If you've got friends who love to argue with BLM folks, with anti-cop folks, get them to call in. Have them argue with me. That's my day job. Let them argue with me. But with that, but with that being said, tell me how you feel about defunding the police.
In my opinion, I think we should fund them even more, since the funding goes towards like training and like more like things to be able to work out situations. Since a lot of the things that have happened, like George Floyd, has been because of bad training.
Do you think that George Floyd was that whole situation was a result of bad training, or an officer who might have had a vendetta, that it didn't matter what kind of training that you gave him, he was always going to have that vendetta?
I think it's both, since cops should never put their knee on someone. Like that that's just like normal training. And there's also something called natural bias, I think, where people like do stuff without knowing what they're doing. Like they could like sorry I'm stuttering so much, but it's like like depending on where they lived at or how their parents taught them or whatever, they could have like something against black people they didn't even know they had. Do you know where I'm coming from?
I know where you're coming from. I can see your point of view. But you know, I go back to this, man. I go back to this. Is that the thing that I fear more so than anything else is that if you keep the money exactly as it is, they will never change. And I look at it from like military service, right? I know for a fact that in the Army, whenever there's an issue with diversity, when there's an issue of there not being enough people in a certain position, we allocate funds, or we provide more funds, or take funds away from one program and just give it to basically another. We do that all the time. But suddenly, when it comes to the police, we reallocate funds based on, a lot of reasons in the government. We dissolve whole companies. You know, we've done that in this country before, and yet when it comes to the institution that was based off of a freaking slave trade, suddenly, you know, people don't want to do that, and it's just very, very interesting, you know, how much energy people put into certain things versus like others. Wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah.
So overall, if let's say that I could convince you that defunding the police was a good idea. Suppose I say I would keep funding for the police to function as a basic police force. There's no more military gear. There's no more special privileges. It's just you are the police, and that's who you are. You don't get anything else beyond that. Suppose a lot of that funding reallocation would be to get rid of a lot of the military gear that they use, including MRAPs, including military radios, Delta radios, the ones that I used to work on, stuff like that. Suppose that was what I meant by defunding the police, taking away a lot of the gear, taking away a lot of the privileges, taking away a lot of the ridiculous hours and like overtime. Suppose that was just reallocated into treatment programs for people with addiction and homelessness. So what would be your response if that was my idea of defunding the police?
I would say they like need guns and more equipment since the reason the like fully automatic weapons or like rifles and stuff were added was because a while ago there was a shooting with like a dude with someone with a full automatic AR or something like that, and the cops only.
That was in Las Vegas, right?
So, I'm not sure exactly where it's at.
I think you're talking about like Las Vegas. That was one of them. There's been many. There's been a lot of mass shootings. I don't know many of them with automatic weapons, because even the one in Las Vegas, that was just like basically a bunk stop type of function. It wasn't automatic. It was just simulating automatic fire. There's a big difference between shooting automatic and simulating it. But with that being said, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So would you like to hear what my ideas of the equipment they need, but for like certain situations?
Right. Go ahead.
So one of my ideas, which might make like a lot of people angry, but will get like more for people to stop getting less shot up is like big metal riot shields that are able to stop bullets, so they can like walk towards them without like getting harmed and just like detain the suspect or whoever.
So you want Iron Man like type of armor?
Yes and no. I don't want like armor. I mostly want like shields and stuff.
I mean, here's the thing, man. So I'm just curious as to, so what's the absolute maximum powerful equipment, like military gear, like basically military grade equipment that you would allow?
I would I wouldn't allow explosives if they have access to that. Like I would allow fully automatic weapons that are able to switch type of fires, and my shield idea, and maybe different ways to like handle riots, like the things that look like grenade launchers and fires the canisters and stuff, but without the actual launcher part, just like able to throw the gas or whatever.
Well, here's the other question that I'm going to ask you. How would that coincide with the Second Amendment? Because why should police officers have access to equipment that I don't, when the Second Amendment clearly states that most anything that the government has outside of a nuclear weapon, I should be able to have access to? Like, for example, if they have fully automatic weapons, why don't I? Because the Second Amendment was intended for the event of a tyrannical government. So if the tyrannical government has fully automatic weapons, but I don't, wouldn't that be an issue?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you see the issue with giving cops military equipment?
Yes, I do.
Right, because again, people don't understand that when I say this stuff, I'm being consistent. I open carry guns, I open carry swords, I open carry machetes, knives. I mean, I think that if you watch my channel, you've seen that, right?
I haven't really.
Give me a second. I'll show you.
Okay.
This just came in. My new holster just came in on yesterday. It's a combo holster, and I can put a magazine and a gun in there. I carry this every day, and you could ask Sky, who's actually on the line. He's actually my roommate from combat, and he will tell you that I carry that thing like every day. And the reason why I feel the way that I do about this, and the reason why I feel the way I do, and also about the police having access to military grade equipment, is that if the police should ever side with the tyrannical government, which is in the event of a tyrannical government, you can almost assuredly bet some of them will. Most of them probably won't. I will give them that credit, especially if it's like a left-leaning type of government. I will give them courtesy. I will give them the benefit of the doubt. I will assume they're going to be some great heroes, some great Captain fucking Americas, okay? I will give them the benefit of the damn doubt. However, they have access to the stuff and we don't. So understand that I oppose them having military grade equipment only from the standpoint of I can't have it too. So if I can't have it, why should they? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
So I mean, again, it's not that. Again, I say the things that I say more so from the standpoint of I worry about what police have become, right? I don't just blindly hate them, and I say the things that I say because it gets your attention. There's a reason why I support Black Lives Matter, because I use the exact same tactics as they do. They say Black Lives Matter because they already know that people were gonna come up with all lives matter. In fact, I debated Alicia Garza when Black Lives Matter first came out, when I was pretty much still a freaking nobody, and she could afford to respond to a nobody like me. So she flat out said it. Like, I say Black Lives Matter, I say white privilege, I say all those things because it gets it gets you talking. And let me ask you a question: are you not on a freaking podcast talking about defunding the goddamn police?
Yeah.
So again,
Oh,
I want to know completely though. What do you think? What do you think overall of the police, and what do you think you disagree with me on? And I will just let you say it. You know, I totally respect your opinion, but what do you disagree with me on in terms of cops?
I disagree with like Wait, never mind. What's the thing about Wait, never mind. I'm sorry.
Listen, it could be anything. There's no pressure. Trust me, I'm in a great mood, man. You can share your opinion. I'll just take it.
I think police should be even more funded. So, like my past statement, so they can have even more training. And yeah, since a lot of things have happened because of bad training. I also believe I agree with the thing that the people should be able to have what the government has, but that mostly matters about whose hands it is in. And I think that's why it's only allowed in the police force is because of the people, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But yeah, I completely agree with that statement.
All right. Well, listen, I think that I can take that constructive criticism that maybe I shouldn't be so cavalier when it comes to defunding the police. I think that's kind of what you're saying.
I think so.
Right. I just want to make sure that, again, and I can take that because I know that when I get hot headed, man, I could be brutal. I know that. But hey, man, I want to thank you for calling in. If you can get more people to call in, if you can get at least 3, you get a $50 Amazon gift card. Next month it's gonna be $100. You can actually win prizes now. At least 3. That's it. That's all is required. Trust me. If you go to a bunch of people and says, "Hey, there's a black guy talk about funding the freaking police and he hates cops," trust me, that'll be simple. But thank you for calling in, man. Call in again. Make sure you keep watching, and the show is going to become more and more lit because we're going to get into some more and more harsh topics, okay?
Okay. Oh, when I go back to the stream, I'm going to, like, rewind back just to listen to my, to hear me on the show.
All right. Hey, that's all good. But thank you again for calling in, man, and thank you again for being a big supporter, man. You've been a long time subscriber, and I appreciate all the support, man. You take care, all right?
Okay, you too.
All right.
Have a good day.
All right. Jason, I'm Sky. I know you've been dying to say something. You've been dying to get at me.
Okay.
I know you've been dying.
Not
go
really.
ahead.
Okay.
So did my position on defund the police, is it more clarified or not?
I mean, no, but only because I thought it was pretty clear before. I mean, I didn't have any confusion before.
So what do you think what do you know about what I believe about defunding the police?
Police are not to be trusted. Police will use their power by any means necessary to accomplish their ends, regardless of what is best for their community. And they're largely uneducated about the laws that they are supposed to enforce. But as in most things, I think education can fix most problems. But nobody wants to spend any money on education.
Especially not in the state of South Carolina. But so here's where
I mean, at least they can say they're not dead last, but
Here's where I think that you're right and you're wrong. I do think that police officers are largely to be untrusted, but I think that, as you know, I think that, as you probably would tell people, I don't trust police officers in general. I don't trust anybody.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Right. I don't trust anybody affiliated with any kind of government. That includes my own fellow soldiers who are currently active duty. I don't trust anybody. And it's mainly because I've seen how the government can abuse people. But here's what I believe about defunding the police. I don't want to take all their money away and make it so that we don't have police officers. What I want is for a force that actually remembers that they are public servants. They're not behaving. I haven't seen a single police department so far that behaves like they are servants. You know, like they behave almost like you are supposed to like serve them. Like you gotta say yes sir and no sir to them. You gotta like bow down to them. You gotta watch your mouth with them. If you are a servant, I don't do that. So I think that maybe the funding that the police have now we can eventually get back to. But there's no point in me buying a freaking brand new basketball court for a basketball team when they're under 500. And right now, the police in America are under 500. So what I think needs to happen is that we strip them all bare to the bare.
Wait, what is under 500?
It's a basketball term, or it's basically like a general like sports term. Whereas like pretty much you don't have like a winning record. You don't have at least a 50% winning record. It's kind of like a slang type a street term. But basically, my issue is that I think that until we reach some semblance of not having qualified immunity being used as often as it is, or some semblance of police officers not enforcing things that are clearly ridiculous, and then using the justification of, well, that's just the law, guys. Well, the law in the Middle East is also that if you're gay, you get freaking stoned, and I'm pretty sure, Sky, that you would not agree with that shit. You would take
it's kind of a waste.
Yeah, you would take exception to that shit, especially given like your story. But so my thing is that until they have a 500 winning record, we need to strip back to everything to the bare minimum. Maybe you can't handle the AR-15 if you can't stop shooting kids with a fucking Glock. You know, maybe we give you all the things that you got now when you show us as servants, because again, servants have to actually prove themselves to masters, right? That's kind of one of the point and purposes of being a freaking servant. You don't just be my servant and just say, I'm your servant now. And it's like, who are you? Show me that you can actually serve. Show me that you can follow directions. Show me that you can follow the Constitution that's been there for hundreds of goddamn years now. Show me that. And I think that a good bit of their funding should definitely go into a constitutional academy. They should have to spend a minimum of 6 months in the constitutional academy learning about the U.S. Constitution, because basically if they are sworn to uphold it, how can you uphold something that you don't know anything fucking about?
Why 6 months?
Because I think that you should spend at least 1 month on certain amendments more so than others. Like the fourth and fifth one, and like the first one, those should be a major emphasis, especially the fourth amendment, because that's been a huge issue, man. You know, the Fourth Amendment. You have police officers who routinely violate the Fourth Amendment on a semi-daily basis. You know, so I think that like you said, education is going to play a big key, and I'm all for putting people into freaking classrooms, especially if they got guns. I'm all for that. All for it. I think that the price of just one MRAP would educate so many officers. You know?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about officers having to attend a mandatory constitutional academy before you pass the actual academy?
I don't think I think it should be 6 months though. That's a little excessive. I mean, how long? Whenever we had,
police, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can. Whenever we went through escalation of force and rules of engagement training, it was only half a day, and we learned that stuff real quick.
Right. Well, the thing about it is that we had to go through extra training before we deployed. Before they didn't just put us on that freaking ECP. By the way, guys, me and Sky, we actually deployed to combat. He's my best friend from combat, man. He's a good guy. He's actually a combat veteran, and decorated war veteran. So big respect, guys. Give him his respect. By the way, Sky, drop a link to your Discord server in the chat. He runs the Authority Gamer server, whereas he plays games every day. Like pretty much, Sky. How many games do you actually own, man?
I mean, I have a lot of games.
Like how many hundreds?
Let's see.
I know it's like 300 something.
I think I have exactly 300.
Wow. Exactly 300 games. So if you want to be a gamer, you want to have some fun, man, go join the Authority Gamer server. I played poker with Sky in person and also on the server. It's actually a lot of fun. The people there are pretty friendly. They will talk to you. Yeah, and you get a wide variety of people. You get some who are conservative, you get some who are liberal, you get some who are furries. You get furries in there. You get
yeah, it's not a political server. It's just
you don't get no freaking politics. Yeah.
It's just it's a place to find people to play games with.
Right. I think that your biggest thing is tabletop simulator and VR games now, right?
Wait, what?
I think that your two biggest things right now is tabletop simulator and VR games now, right?
I mean, I play a lot of other games as well.
Yeah, he's pretty much. If Sky's not talking to me and if he's not smoking a little bit of yayo, he's probably gaming. He's probably gaming.
What is
so
yayo?
the marijuana.
Oh.
The marriage of Yuana.
I just want to make sure cannabis. Yeah, I use cannabis.
The marriage of iguanas. So tell me, how do you feel about my views? Like have you? Okay, so you've seen how I feel about cops, right? Why?
Well, sure, yeah. Okay. Sometimes you come over to my house and yell at me about it.
Okay. Is there any criticisms that you can give? I'm gonna mute myself. I'm just gonna listen. I'm not gonna say anything. I'll let you just speak. Is there any?
You're not gonna say anything now. You'll come back over later and be like,
No, I won't.
Man?
I won't. You have my word because, you have my word. The one thing I've never broken is my freaking word. I'll tell you a normal lie in a second, but I will never break my word to you because I gave you my fucking word and got them combat that I will never break my word to you. So
okay,
I'll mute myself. Go ahead.
What do you want me to say?
How do you feel about my feelings towards cops? You know that I mostly hate cops. Most cops I feel are disingenuous, lying douchebags who are road pirates.
Okay. So my criticisms of that basically is what you want me to say?
Basically, tell me as my best friend, like. And again, I'm actually opening myself up to criticism because people say that I can't take it. So I'm gonna take it from the one guy that I would hate to take it from, but it's you. You know me better than fucking anybody. So,
okay. My criticisms of that is I mean, obviously, it's super aggressive. You know, even off-putting to those that don't know you. Because and not because of the message that you're putting out, but because of the posture or the tone of voice and stuff like that. It's really quite, kind of unfortunate because you do make very good points. You know, that it's just it's kind of like a defense mechanism in cats, right? Everyone's saying like people are cats, whatever. But if you make really loud noises around them, they tend to get scared and try and run away. It doesn't. You could just be shouting "I love you" at them. And I think Ben and Teller did an episode of bullshit on this. It really you know, sometimes it really doesn't matter what you have to say. What matters is how you say it. You know, like the Karens who smile and talk to you in a sing-song voice and say, "I want to speak to your manager, and I'm gonna get you fired," or whatever. Some bullshit. Anyway, and then you come in and you're very passionate. You know, that's probably the best way to put it. Very passionate. And it's unfortunate for those who do back off in a scared sort of or nervous fashion, because then they won't get the message. You know, the things that are going on in the community. Another criticism I would have is taking a broad stance like that would be really unfortunate for those who wanted to join their local police force to try and stop this kind of thing. But then at the same time, you know, that's also addressed where, you know, joining it is dangerous in and of itself, because it's not like you can just go and say, I'm going to change it from the inside, because let's just face it, that's never going to happen. You know, organizations are strong because of their various parts. You can't just go to the inside of it and say, oh, I'm going to fix it now. You know, you have oversight committees, you have unions, you have ethics committees, you have and then you have the actual cops themselves that have been there for a while, who are corrupt, who are perfectly okay with continuing to do whatever it is they're doing. You have pundits who take everything to the extreme. You know, so it's unfortunate for them, because it's you know, it's impossible for them to go and do the thing that they, you know, that obviously is right. You know, like you go in and try and change it from the inside. That's a great sentiment. It's just impossible. Which sucks. But at the same time, so it's like, I'm
sorry about that. I just got a new subscriber, Gloria Khan. How you doing, Gloria? Thank you for joining the channel. But continue.
Yeah. That's just it. It's the aggressive posture. It's justified aggressive posture. It's just you know, the what am I trying to say here?
Maybe I could draw more bees with honey.
As a matter of fact, bees like honey.
And you say that pretty much like every day.
Do I?
You say it quite often.
Okay. Well, either I'm crazy or I don't know. Anyway, and then that's also like, it's unfortunate for newer cops to take that stance against them automatically, because you know, they have the best intentions, and then you know, they can't. I mean, obviously they can't follow through, but they do still have the best intentions.
All right.
You know,
I think that's fair. I know that I can be very, very angry. You know, the only thing I would say is, I want to show you something.
Okay.
I want you to see something real quick. I want to show you something. And again, I want to give people a rare insight into my channel. I want people to see some of the comments that I get. Now, I made a video about this guy named Adam Calhoun. And Adam Calhoun is this guy who made this video. It's called Racism. And it was about how sometimes black people can be racist towards white people. They can be, indeed, and I agree with that because again, like the video title, again, I said, hey, I'm an anti-cop, pro BLM guy, but I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But I want you to see some of the comments. I want you to see this, and I want you to see exactly the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. So I'm gonna open up my channel. I'm gonna let you see into my YouTube studio. I'm gonna let you see this stuff live so that you can see exactly the reason why this stuff has been happening. And the reason why
there's a delay, by the way, between you talking on Discord and then the stream. So if you can show something, just
Right. Now, let's see. Where's that comment that I saw earlier? See, because it was just some. No. It was just some amazing. It was. So. Okay, so first I'm gonna show you something real quick. I'm gonna show you a poll. So I made a poll, and I said, "Is the Republican Party racist?" Right, and it was simply a poll, right? It wasn't me sharing any kind of opinion outside that. It's just a poll. I said, "Is the Republican Party racist?" Now, 24% said yes, 59% said no, 0% says I'm pretty sure they are, but I can't prove it, and 18% said I know they are, but I'll play the whataboutism game. So if you go to the comments here, it is quite remarkable. I simply said many elements of the Republican Party is definitely racist. That's not me saying that Democrats are not racist, but let me read you your comments. This is from Adam Gray. Yes, devil's advocate. The Democrat Party is equally racist. However, it is the Democrat Party who is openly racist and stupidly denounces anyone who is not a part of the mass insanity as racist. Same can be said about Republicans, right? Last I knew, Republicans typically do not go around doing this extreme asininity. That is the gist of it. I am also fairly over this politicizing of everything and political theater. Too bad seemingly everyone takes this political nonsense as deadly serious. Okay. So I replied, like most people would probably reply, because again, he's coming in and attacking me, right? So I said, if I shout Epstein is a rapist, you would reply with, so is Weinstein. That's your argument. You're over this because you lost, and your reply shows your bias. So yeah, I'll talk about this. Much like television, you can always change the channel. Now, of course, you win this argument, devil's advocate. You easily bested me with your straw man argument. Nice to know how reliable of an individual you have proven yourself to be.
Okay.
You had best thank the YouTube algorithm, devil's advocate. It is the one who recommended me your channel. Have a nice day or better day, devil's advocate. Presuming you can achieve such. So it doesn't really matter how I approach certain things. People are gonna react that way. Okay. Now that's not the only comment. Let me go over here to the ones that are held in review. Now, the ones that are held in review, I shared a meme about the Capitol riot. I got no less than 2,000 comments held in review from mostly people claiming that it was Antifa.
Yeah. Okay.
I shared
the Capitol riots. I thought it was Proud Boys.
Well, they're claiming in the comment section over 2,000 people from a meme claiming that it was Antifa. Now, I shared a meme. There is no way to aggressively share a meme. It's a meme. It's meant to not be taken super duper seriously. And if you do, you kind of lost the point of memes, right? But as you can see, in case you guys
I think most people lost. I think most people lost the idea of what a meme is.
Right. So again, if you notice here, all these comments about it was Antifa, it was Antifa, it was Antifa, it was Antifa. So if what you're saying is that I could be a little less aggressive, well, how do you want me to approach these people? I'm just, again, I am all ears. I am all ears.
Yeah, let's aggressively.
The problem is that I would only change behavior if I'm going to get different results. I'm not going to do the same thing and expect different results, right? I would only change if I'm going to get different results. So again, most of the interactions, most of the negative interactions that I've had, in fact, almost all of them, have not been from people on the freaking left. Almost all of them have been from people on the right and people who are pro-cop. In fact, I just showed that to you. I can prove that because YouTube tracks not only dislikes but also analytics. I can prove that to you. So it's not so much how I'm really approaching it, it's how certain people are taking it. It wouldn't matter how I said I'm pro BLM, change my mind. You know what's gonna happen. And you know how most cops are gonna probably look at that too. There is no way to be pro the things that I'm pro without rookie cops, even rookie cops reacting negatively most times. There's been internal polls about BLM at certain police departments, and most cops don't like us.
Okay.
So I don't think that it would necessarily matter how I approached it. I will definitely take your advice and try to be a little bit nicer. That's why you've noticed I haven't spurred down anybody. I've let people speak.
I didn't say nicer.
Oh no, I mean try to be. I know, but I can take that one. You don't have to say it. I know you want to say it.
No, I mean just say less aggressively.
Well, nicer then.
No.
That's what
There's
I would
no
call
need to
nicer.
be nicer.
Well,
People are going to react the same way regardless of what you do. But if you act less aggressively, you seem more credible.
I think that people act aggressively.
That's a personal opinion.
People act aggressively all the time, and they get credibility. Like a prime example is
Not for me.
That's one thing. But you look at someone like Brandon, like Brandon Tatum, who I criticize all the time. He's extremely pro cop. He justified what happened to Ahmaud Arbery. I mean, everything, right? And this guy literally threatened to beat up and freaking assault this dude named Hotep Jesus. Like he's on the freaking live stream, like I'll kill you and everything else is like. And so he's uber aggressive. I've never done that now.
Yeah.
But he has over 1 million subscribers. All because he sucks dick or goddamn cops and he happens to be freaking black. And does it. So once again,
okay.
It matters less about what you say and the demographic that you're pushing it to. Because you can say most anything. It just depends on who you are and who you are pushing it to. If I was a little skinny, pretty ass, white woman saying the exact same shit, it would come across completely differently than me saying it now. So,
okay.
Do you think?
I think you, Mr. Stowe, say less aggressively. I meant the volume at which you deliver your pitch.
Right. So. You think that if I were to whisper, I'm pro BLM, change my mind, that the reaction from the right is going to be is going to be any different?
Oh, it should be pretty different, fairly different. They'll probably think you're a pushover.
No, they're going to attack you just the same. Do you want to know how I know that? During high school, there was a march on the King Day at the Dome. It was in 2006, I want to say. And there was a young woman by the name of Kimberly Grace. I went to high school with her. She was the daughter of a band teacher who had recently died at that point. His name was Freddie Grace from Keenan High School. She was speaking at the front on the state house steps in South Carolina. And when she was speaking, a bunch of Klan members started heckling her, saying, "Shut the fuck up, you fat bitch." Mind you, it was just 2 days removed from her father dying, and she had announced that before the speech. and she was discussing why the Confederate flag should come down. She didn't curse nobody out. She ain't threaten nobody. She didn't do none of that. So I think that there's a lot of responsibility being placed on me, and not enough on people who act the way that they act. Because if you know that I'm gonna get pretty much a very similar reaction depending on the subject, then would it really matter how I really approached it? Really?
To me, it would. Yes, absolutely.
Right. To you, but I'm talking about to the masses.
Oh, I have no idea. Masses are crazy. I can't speak for everybody. You know,
Right.
you can't put everybody in a room and expect them all act the same way.
Well, I can definitely say one thing. All Colin Kaepernick did was take a knee, and what happened to him?
Yeah. He was vilified for it.
So, do you think that if I completely came less aggressively, I was completely nice?
I don't think there was anything aggressive about what Kaepernick did.
No. But let's say that I was Kaepernick.
Okay.
And the same thing happened to me. Would you have a problem saying what you're saying to me right now? That if you would just appear less aggressively, this wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, if you can say the exact same thing, hey, I'm all with
Well, I
the
mean,
person.
okay. I'll give you good enough reason. You know, when I was in Afghanistan, I was treated way less than fairly. You know, and I didn't go in raising hell. I just
No, but I did it for you. That's why you didn't have to, because you saw the way I acted. I cursed out the first sergeant. I cursed out the commander. I cursed out the sergeant major.
Yeah.
I cursed out the platoon sergeant. I cursed out the second sergeant. I cursed out the XO. I got in the first sergeant face. I threatened to beat his fucking ass over discrimination.
Okay.
Because you were gay. And this is but in case people don't understand what we are referring to, Sky, you know, honestly, he is one of the people that I will say no black person should ever claim is more oppressed than this guy, because you'll be fucking wrong. He has a very unique situation that's very rarely happened to anyone that I even know. I have not known anyone else this happened to. Sky is gay, and because of that, this is before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed. The entire unit that we deployed was discriminated against this man. And so when that happened, I decided to room with him when nobody else would, and I raised hell. And so I'm very, very curious. Do you think that if you were to approach that differently, or be very, very nice, or not? Oh, I won't say nice. Very, very non-aggressive, that the same thing would have happened?
I don't know. It's difficult, but I can speculate. For me, you know, my plan was to just, you know, make sure I kept doing my job right. Don't give anybody any reason to say, you know, that was affecting my ability to remain in the military, and, you know, not raise hell for people to, you know, basically put a target on my back.
Well, that's just, I guess that's the fundamental difference between me and like a lot of other people. I have no problem with putting a target on my back if I'm seeing where someone's getting fucked over. I have no problem doing it. And I guess that has gotten me into a lot of trouble, I guess. But I'm just curious as to, you know, do you honestly believe that a rookie cop who actually just looks at the thumbnail of the video that I put out, you know, I want to defund the police, change my mind, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the average cop,
what it was?
Well, it is the actual title of this particular show.
Do I think a cop what?
Do you think a cop would be receptive to that? Honestly, just keeping it a buck. Do you think that the average cop who sees that is thinking, okay, I'm going to engage with this guy, or he's a freaking leftist retard? Which one do you think is more likely?
Is that presumes that all cops are on the right? What is more likely? The latter. What is hopefully the case is the former. But can you really expect cops to advocate for losing their job?
No, I don't think that it's even about losing their job. I've already demonstrated that defunding defunding the police doesn't necessarily mean that we necessarily get rid of police. We might have less of them, but that doesn't. But unless
right. So somebody is losing their job.
Somebody is, but that's with every other job out there. I just don't see why cops think that they're like above that. People when there's cuts to the government.
Oh, that's government jobs in general. I mean, you give anybody in the government a reason to do nothing, and they'll do nothing.
Right. So I mean, again, I'm just very. I guess I want to understand how to approach things differently that gives me the best chance of different results. Because it can't just be, well, if you just appear less aggressive, things would change. That's not the case. Because I've approached this in several different ways, and it did not give different results. It just gave the exact same results. Only it was more exaggerated depending on the day. So I guess there's
no accounting for stupidity, of course, but. I firmly believe that there would be a lot more people willing to listen to you had you not been shouting at them.
Okay, so do you think that the people? Do you think that people don't listen to me?
Wait, what?
Do you think that?
Do I think that what?
Do you think that people don't listen to me?
There's some people who definitely don't listen to you. They'll comment on your video without watching it.
Okay. And do you think that those people are trolls, or those people are part of my core audience, or do you think that those people, no matter what I would have done, would have probably done the exact same thing?
No, I think they're usually pretty crazy. I mean, it defeats the purpose of
I'm trying
commenting on a video that you haven't watched.
I'm trying to understand what I can do differently that would give me different results. And again, I think that what you're trying to avoid, and this is just my personal opinion, is that it doesn't really matter how I say it. It just depends on what I'm saying.
No, I think you have a great message. I just think it's poorly delivered sometimes.
I think that it doesn't really matter how I deliver the message, because do you want to know how I can prove that? Can you think of a time where I haven't been angry? Because I can't. And there was nothing wrong with the message. Maybe that's your problem. Wait. But there was nothing wrong with the message 5 years ago, right? People were just fine with it. You didn't hear these same complaints 5 years ago, and I can prove that because I can go through the comments and show you. You did not hear these same complaints. Now, what was the difference between 5 years ago and now?
I'm not sure what you're looking for there.
I was a Trump supporter. That was different.
Okay.
So I want you to understand that Trump supporters and people who generally, give into conspiracy stuff, they have a way of manipulating public opinion. Like, for example, they have a way of making it so that these people are coming at me with racist attacks constantly, right? Telling me that you're stupid, you're a dumb nigger. It was freaking Antifa. You're on the left. You're a libtard. They can do all that shit, but then suddenly, well, if you're just nicer to them, or you're just not as aggressive, it doesn't matter how you approach these people. So, what I'm looking for is
no. I mean, like, if I don't think you should approach crazy people and try and convince them anything anyway. They're crazy.
Right. But
I'm talking about the people who are willing to listen to you and your arguments.
What I'm trying to understand is, because again, it's not that the channel is not growing; it's growing exponentially. Especially with that one little one little hack I learned. But the thing about it is that I want to understand. I guess I want to try to find the balance. Are you willing to concede that a lot of the criticism is not legit? So other legit
A lot of the
criticism,
what?
a lot of the criticism is just politically biased. It's just pro cop people who would not care what I said after I said I'm pro BLM.
Yeah. I mean, not accounting for crazy people. That's not really what I was trying to
doesn't
get at.
necessarily make you crazy, but my thing is the thing that I'm trying to get you just to somewhat
just my
concede,
opinion.
to somewhat concede, is that a lot of this is not on me. A lot. Now I'm willing to make changes.
I mean, yeah, if you're trying to appeal to crazy people, then yes,
It's not
like, none
it's
of
not
it's
about
on you,
crazy
as a matter of
people.
fact, because they're gonna say stuff no matter what. They're gonna be like, bullshit, blah blah blah, more bullshit, and you could literally just be standing on a street corner trying to sell oranges, and they could be like, political bullshit, because they're crazy, because they're crazy. There's no trying to reason with crazy.
The thing that I'm trying to get you to concede is that had it been any other topic, a lot of topics outside of cops, defunding the police, that kind of stuff, that maybe the opinions would not be what they are. I've gotten people who are literally on the right to concede that yeah, it is clearly that it would not matter how you approach it. You're black.
With those crazy people, I don't know. They'd probably turn anything into political controversy. I mean, they would probably say, and again, at that point, none of it would be on you. You couldn't take responsibility for any of that. It would be entirely on the crazy.
I want just learn about things that I can control. Like again, you
can't control how much the police get directly anyway.
Right. Again,
unless you want to steal it from them.
I mean, it would make sense. They fucking civil forfeiture. It wouldn't exactly be unfair, but I'm just saying. But again, I just want to understand a way for me to do things differently. Without there being like almost like I gotta take responsibility for people, that I really can't control anyways, right? That's what I don't want to do.
Okay, so like when I'm on Twitter, okay, and I'm talking with crazy people who, think COVID-19 doesn't exist and nobody should get a vaccine because it's killing people, I just call them an asshole and then I block them because there's no other way to deal with people like that. They're just crazy. They're just crazy. There's no reasoning with them. They think sports are scripted and Jews are taking over everything, or Jesuits are taking over whatever.
Have you seen the Jewish space laser thing yet?
No.
So this is a representative in Congress by the name of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a hardcore Trump person, and she's a QAnon chick. Uh-huh. She had this post where she basically described the apparently she accused the Jewish people of having a space laser, like Israel. And apparently it's gonna zap us. So apparently so when you go on Facebook or anywhere else, you see the freaking memes about Jewish space lasers. Like that's where that come from.
Okay.
She's out of her fucking mind. So again,
the
one thing, I just feel that sometimes I catch a lot of criticism that even police officers would not get. Scrutiny that even police officers would not get. Scrutiny that people who criticize me would never get. And I think that's the biggest part of the problem is that a lot of black folk are very, very defensive. And again, I talk to a lot of black people. They're very, very defensive.
I mean, it's not just black people.
Well, no. It's
everybody
just us.
gets,
I'm talking about just particularly with this particular scenario. There's no way that you're telling me that black pro BLM guy, anti-cop guy, makes a stream called I'm for defunding the police, change my mind. And I look at the freaking downvotes on the video right now. That I've been nothing but cordial here, right? Nothing but nice. I even had a caller. I've had people in the freaking chat. I've been nothing but nice, and I'm still getting downvotes. I'm still getting people spamming nigger right now in the freaking chat. I'm just blocking out the freaking comments. They are literally spamming dumb nigger in the comments right now. The reason why, because again, that's why you got 7 people watching and only 3 people commenting. What do you think those other people are doing like right now? You know what they're doing.
I have no idea.
Well, I can see in the comments what they're doing.
Oh, okay.
So again, my thing is that I want you to understand there's a reason why for the anger, and that when so much criticism is directed towards the person's behavior who's reacting angrily to this kind of stuff, and also to the police, you can understand how that only increases the defensiveness, right? Because again, what are we actually discussing here? Why am I angry? Okay. Is there
Because you're personally affected by the police?
Well, not just that, but just that it is that I want reforms. Is that I don't really care so much about what happens to me. Just so long as there's reforms, I feel like my country is doing better. I feel like I'm like my service was worth it. You know, that's what this is actually about. I have a problem even looking at my service as honorable now, because of the things that I've seen the cops do. I'm being honest with you and forthcoming. You may not agree with it, but I just don't like it when the police abuse people. I just want them to actually be the public servants that they claim to be. And if I know that the history of the cops given my people until the very day, given some of the studies that show the disproportionate use of freaking force, the shootings and everything else, if that's where a lot of the anger is coming from, right? And if you know that these people are not gonna listen, a lot of them aren't gonna listen no matter what I say, right? But then the conversation is less about them and more about my behavior. Do you see how that's just not just one-sided, but then it almost legitimizes further anger? Because it's like, okay,
well, I hope you don't take that away from what I'm saying.
I'm not the one murdering kids 2 seconds after running up to them. I'm not the one covering up rapes. I'm not the one, arresting women on the beach for wearing damn thongs. I'm not the one arresting moms for having kids on a freaking playground. And my whole question is, yeah, I appear angry and aggressive. And my question is, why aren't you? Why isn't everybody? In any other context, if this were, say, a janitor doing the exact same actions that the cops were, people would be up in arms. If it were a freaking clerk, right, they would be up in arms. If it was a freaking McDonald's worker, a Walmart greeter, they'd be up in arms. But suddenly, when you put on a damn badge, it's like we as a country experienced the worst cognitive dissonance I've ever seen in my fucking life. And can you kind of see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully you definitely don't take away. No.
I know you. You are my friend. You're not trying to hurt me.
Okay. But that's also at the same time I do when I do get mad, I don't express my emotions the same way that you do. When I get quote unquote up in arms, it's not me going out into the streets and holding a sign up and shouting at a government official. When I'm up in arms, I try to find other effective ways of dealing with my anger.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Given some of the issues that I go after, how do you think I should do it differently? That's actually effective.
Stop trying to accommodate crazy people.
No, I mean like the issues that I go after. I didn't talk about the freaking crazy people. The crazy people are gonna exist regardless. I can't change that unless we start purging people. There's no way you're gonna fix that. That's just what it is. I'm talking about some of the issues that I'm talking about. Like, for example, when it comes to judicial reform, prosecutorial reform, police reform, when it comes to addressing racism, when it comes to addressing institutional racism, when it comes to addressing government corruption, when it comes to the government giving people only $1,800, like pretty much so far. When it comes to those issues, how do you think I could handle it more effectively that could, I guess, appear less aggressive?
Oh, just by not shouting, honestly.
So do you think that if I were to whisper it, it would be more effective?
No, absolutely not.
So then
I
why
think that
do
would
it?
come across as demeaning. Well, I mean, there's more than just shouting and whispering. You can just talk.
Do you think even talking would fix it?
Yeah. For those who are willing to listen to your arguments, you're not illogical. You're not unreasonable. Your logic's sound. Your arguments are sound. I think for those who are actually willing to listen to what you have to say, and are open to the possibility of changing their mind and not just an automatic naysayer or whatever. I think you would be marginally more effective.
Right. So do you think that I've ever tried that before?
I have no idea.
I have.
I don't watch every episode that you do.
I have.
I do know in real life, I haven't seen that, but I mean, you have good reason to be very passionate about what you go through.
I've been nice. I've been extremely courteous. In fact, I even had.
Well, again, nothing about being courteous or being nice. I'm just saying, like lowering the volume of your voice.
Well, if I'm being courteous and nice, then the volume doesn't really matter. that kind of takes that's kind of implied. But if I've tried that before, and the results that you speak of haven't happened, then maybe the conversation should be less about me and more about the people in the country. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point that Black Lives Matter has been trying to get to people, is that, yeah, we do sound angry. And let me ask you a question. Did people listen when we didn't sound angry or aggressive?
Well, I did. Yeah.
I think you know what I meant by that. I don't think that, and again, I appreciate you for listening, but I think you know what I meant by that.
Oh, I'm not going to speculate to anybody else.
Well, no, they didn't.
I don't classify myself as a racist person, and I don't identify with crazy people. So.
Well, no. I gave you the example of Kaepernick. So again, suppose I was calling Kaepernick.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I got those results. Shouldn't the conversation at some point,
you cut out there. What'd you say?
Suppose I was calling Kaepernick and yet got the exact same results as calling Kaepernick. Shouldn't the conversation at some point be less about me and more about the country?
But why would the conversation be about you anyway? It's about your message.
I think you got it now. Why is the conversation so much about me? That's the point.
I feel like you have this narrative that you want to put in my mouth and then make me say and repeat to you, and it's
no. You said it. I said it. I said. Now you get it. Why is it so much about me?
Yeah,
that's
kind of messed up, man.
It's not. I'm just listen.
Yeah,
listen.
It is.
That was the overall point.
You know what you did.
No, I
didn't.
You
know what you did.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah,
listen, the point that I was trying to get across to people is that yes, I will totally take a criticism, and I will try to be a lot more courteous and not be so. No. I said I will try to not be so loud and so mean. I will try to. I will give my honest attempt. However, I think that at the same time, you must acknowledge that it doesn't really matter how I approach it. That depending on political ideology,
when you try to accommodate crazy people, yes, it doesn't matter what you say or how you say it.
The
people are going to act fucking crazy. You can't take responsibility for that. You can't put that on your shoulders. You can't lift them up out of their craziness.
But
they're just going to keep acting the same way.
The one thing you refuse to concede is that for a lot of people, It won't matter how I approach it, and that's the.
That wasn't the
not
point
about
I was
me.
making.
Right.
That's not even what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the people who are irrational, who say off-the-wall things for no reason or for crazy reasons. You know, I was talking.
Defund the police. They aren't going to listen.
What is ACAB?
All cops are bastards, or all cops are bad.
Oh, if you said that to cops,
they won't listen. Of course.
I mean, why would they? Why would cops advocate for getting rid of their own job?
Well, if I just take a knee, they would do the exact same thing, right? Because they
yeah.
Because okay, so also if I said I'm pro Black Lives Matter, do you understand that a good bit of, especially in South Carolina, a good bit of cops are just gonna like reject me like outright, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the point.
Who wants to? No, who wants to fire themselves?
Wait! Stop! It doesn't matter what you say outside of that.
Why?
Because if you understand that there are certain conditions in which no matter what I say, those people are not going to listen anyways, then yes, I will take the criticism. I won't shout as much. And you know, to be quite honest, it's getting kind of tiresome anyways. And I think it's hard to keep that up. It's hard to keep that up. Right? It's hard to keep that up. I think anybody sane can kind of see that. You can't do that day in, day out. So I want to try to take a more laid back approach to things, right? But here's the issue. Is that I'm not going to do that if people aren't going to be honest. Okay? Call it as it is. That's all I'm asking. In that if
like I said, when you try to accommodate crazy people,
if you want problems to be fixed, well that's the issue. That's the issue. It's that, again, you say more people will be receptive. Well, you can't really prove that because depending on the issue, people have already made up their mind. A lot of people, I would say most people out there have probably already made up their freaking mind. This is the freaking internet. There is no nuance on the internet. What are you doing? I am trying, right? I'm trying. What I'm trying to do, right, is I'm taking all the anger and I'm expressing it, and then I'm taking a basic training approach because you notice that over time things have gotten calmer and calmer. Like right now, it's reached a plateau of being calm. I've been trashing Trump supporters. I've been trashing cops. I've been trashing judges. I've been trashing lawyers. Now I'm starting a series where I'm saying, hey, you know what? If everything that I said made you so angry, call in and have a conversation. I'll talk to you calmly about it. I'll even, if you even get your friends to call in, I'll even give you a $50 Amazon gift card. You can't get it much better than that, right? So I'm trying a completely different approach, and you're still getting people spamming niggers. So I want you to understand something, right? Is that I fully concede. Yes, I take a very aggressive approach, and yeah, that may not be the best approach. But the problem that many people on the BLM side has is that people just refuse to concede simple points. Concede the point that it doesn't really matter how I approach things more than half of the time, depending on the issue. If I say all lives matter, if I say all lives matter, that's gonna make a good bit of the section reject me outright. If I say Black Lives Matter, that's gonna make a good bit of the section reject me outright. And that's a part of the problem. That's the point that I'm making. Those people, okay. I can't account for those people. I can't account for crazy. Right? So it wouldn't have mattered how I approached.
You cannot put that responsibility on your shoulders.
Right.
It's not somebody you can lift up.
I'm not trying to. All I'm trying to do.
What are you trying to do?
Is to get you to concede that with those people, it wouldn't matter. With cops, with most cops, it probably wouldn't matter. Probably not. If you were a betting man, and I've seen you bet before, so don't say that you're not a betting man. Yes, you are. You've dealt with probability before. We just played poker a couple days ago.
What am I trying to calculate?
That if I say that I'm pro BLM, it doesn't matter to most cops what I say after that.
Sure. Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
will attempt to sound a little bit different, but the fact that just saying BLM would make a lot of cops reject me, that's not on me. That's on the cops. And maybe that's a big part of the reason why we should defund them, so they can get some training to understand that that listen, if you want peace with Black Lives Matter, you got to have conversations. You can't just outright reject them or like not even talk to them because you're freaking defensive. Right? Like I called the Richland County Sheriff's Department about a month and a half ago. And I think you've seen this video, whereas I mentioned my brother, the child molester. Try to report him again. And the guy starts making Joe Biden jokes. Okay? Now, that guy was a sergeant. Meaning that again, we were in the military. Just because a sergeant does something bad doesn't necessarily mean that everybody under them is bad. But it is safe to assume that if a sergeant is ate up, a lot of commanders are also going to assume that everyone underneath that sergeant is also ate up. Because you are the commander. You are not the commander, but you are the NCO. You are supposed to be the person that keeps the other people underneath you in check, right? So if that's happening with a sergeant, then that leads me to believe he's not the only one in the department who feels that way, especially given that it's also in South Carolina. So So I guess the overall point that I want to express is, should not the part of the conversation be about police officers and people who would not accept anything that I have to say, regardless of what I have to say, because of a label?
Yeah.
And do you see how that upsets me when I've tried different tactics and I still got the same results with those people, that there was no changing their minds? And yeah, someone could say, well, you can't convince everybody, but there's literally people being murdered by cops in the freaking streets. This is not an issue where I could just agree to disagree, because at any point my son, myself, or a member of my family, or you or your family can be gunned down by a cop. They can use qualified immunity to get away with it. So no, this is not an issue where I can just agree to disagree, because it's literally an issue of life or death. Do you now get the anger? And maybe I could do a little bit better about expressing it, but do you understand why there's so much anger now?
I mean, I understood why before.
But does it give you a little bit of a deeper insight?
Technically, no, because I already knew.
Okay. But I'm gonna go and tell you, there's two comments here that were actually good comments. Hardline says all lives matter. Hey, if you believe that, cool. Hey, I'm all for you.
Funny.
And the Coleon says Putin lives matter. Putin lives matter. Okay, that's funny. That's funny. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. That's funny. All right. You know what? Sky, if you leave a comment in the live YouTube chat, I'll give you a wrench if you don't already have one. I'm gonna give this guy a wrench just because he said that. I'm gonna make them both give them both a wrench, because if you say something funny on my channel, I'll give you a wrench. Even if I don't necessarily agree, I'm just gonna give you a wrench. Roomfoot, you get a wrench too. Everybody gets a wrench. Therefore, everybody, Toby D. Tobias, you get a wrench too. That way, everybody can have some fun, man. More crime. You left a good comment and I did answer. You weren't a douchebag, so you get a wrench too. Everybody gets wrenches, man. I'm like Oprah with the freaking wrench, man. All right, Jason, you get a wrench too. Whoever you are, you get a wrench. You all get a wrench. Everybody who leaves good comments get wrenched. Also, guys, if you can get somebody to call in, I'm giving out $50. Giving out a $50 gift card. So far, the person who is winning so far in that regard, the person who is winning thus far is Toby D. Tobias. Toby D. Tobias, you got $50 Amazon gift card. Let's hope nobody else challenges you, man. $50 Amazon gift card to Toby D. Tobias so far. Unless somebody else can get more people to call in, I will answer any call that you guys want. Now, with that being said, guys, the other thing that I want to discuss about defunding the police in Sky, you can definitely chime in here.
Okay.
Now, I think that we should basically restart over every police department and basically allocate funds only for the necessary, the bare minimum necessary for their duties. Everything else should strictly go to charity or to rehab programs. What say you, Sky, or anyone else?
I think I think there's certainly a certain amount of people that would need to be reallocated to other community programs, or even, gang units, for example. They would need to. Are you still there?
I'm here. I just muted myself. But
Okay.
yeah, I typically like mute myself so that people could just talk and I don't get the urge to like
Right.
butt in.
So what is it? What is that? That one Mexican game that we originally sent down there. And then they came back.
MS-13.
Yeah, like what? Could we make a specialized militarized police force for that specifically? Like not specifically for MS-13, but specifically for gangs like MS-13, where they get, well, I mean, again, I think they would need to get more training, of course, but and more education, but reallocation of people, because if they're just worried about losing their job, well then we can if they're good at doing other things, we could certainly reallocate. Like if your only redeeming qualities are how racist you can be, yeah, maybe you can be reallocated to a civilian, but you be promoted to customers. I don't fucking know. But for everybody else, certainly there's other things that community resources that can be allocated to, or
Go ahead.
go be a security guard.
Oh boy. Oh, so you suggested that they become Paul Blart. Oh no.
Mufflart, ball cop.
Oh no. You said become a mall cop. Oh man, I think you might have actually made them angrier, man. I think you might have made them freaking OTLs even angrier. So, but think about it is
Okay.
that so when you mentioned the MS-13 thing, I would love to respond to that, man, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so when it comes to MS-13, I think
Sure.
more than half of the problem is the police. I think that MS-13 and the drug cartels, they profit off of the drug war that the police push, and whenever people try to actually legalize marijuana, such as in such places such as South Carolina, you get sheriffs like Leon Lott, you get the attorney general who actually claimed that marijuana was the most dangerous drug in the whole state. He actually said that on freaking camera, and yes,
we've all seen that.
Yes, I fucking memed that because he's a goddamn idiot. But freaking Alan Wilson, God,
Yeah.
special kind of
I
stupid.
mean, you would have to be stupid to say something like that.
Yeah, so you get law enforcement officials and people in positions of power who are standing against legalizing these substances, and they're pushing the freaking drug war that I think most people kind of have to know. I mean, if you don't know, yes, the drug war boosts the cartel. The drug war boosts street gangs. The drug war boosts MS-13 because you drive up the prices of these freaking drugs. Back in South Carolina, the cost for like an ounce of freaking weed was like what, like $200? 200, 250?
Yeah. Well,
300?
if you were lucky.
If you were lucky, it could be much, much more. But in a place like Washington State, man, you can get an ounce of weed of like shake for like what, like $21. I've seen it as cheap as $21. It's like freaking $21.
Yeah.
I've seen it like that freaking cheap. So
And then some of the places have loyalty programs, so if you buy enough, you could get it even cheaper.
Yeah, and they actually do it for you being like a freaking veteran. Like they actually mark the prices down for veterans because we have like a lot of freaking PTSD. So they're like, you know, we want you to be able to afford your weed. So they give you like 10% off, and 10%, that's a huge chunk. That's a nice little chunk, man. You know, that's not bad. And so they will even, you know, some weed stores will allow you to use your veteran discount on top of like any other sales, you know. Not all of them do that, but some of them actually do. But my thing is that you got cops who will stand against that. So and they're therefore boosting up the cartels. So so my response to that is maybe if the cops would shut the fuck up, the cartels wouldn't be a goddamn problem.
Maybe not. I mean, the only reason I would say maybe not is because, you know, who the hell wants to pay taxes? You know, you have IRS agents coming after you.
Well, I mean, who wants to pay taxes? People like Donald Trump who doesn't fucking pay any.
He doesn't want to pay taxes. Nobody's like, oh, April 15th's coming, I get to pay my taxes. No, nobody does that.
But that's the point, though. If you're a legit business, and you know, you wouldn't have to even like worry about that. If you had like a legalized business, that wouldn't even be like an issue. I think more than half of the negative interactions with cops and minorities is over the goddamn drug war.
I wouldn't say that's an unreasonable yes. I mean, it sounds rational.
Well, if that's the case, and if there's police officers who are standing for the drug war, but there's been so many studies from the Department of Justice to the ACLU to the American Civil
That is the ACLU. That's what the ACLU is.
Yeah. I was just repeating it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was getting kind of tongue tied, but you know, you see study after study after study, you know, and it's like the cops have to know these studies freaking exist because the Department of Justice is the one that's putting it out, and if they don't know about these studies, but I do, or you do, or some of us have to imagine they probably exist. That's a problem, you know, and if they know that their drug war is disproportionately targeting minorities, and yet they are not only engaging in it, but supporting it. And every time someone tries to legalize weed in places like South Carolina, they're speaking out against it. Then at what point do I look at these cops and go, you're probably just like a bunch of racists?
Anytime you want, I guess.
Would it be reasonable if you know that a policy is targeting a certain group of people, and you understand that ending that policy is probably going to end that targeting of those people, probably at least in that one area. And if most polls out there show that most people are against this, they're against criminalizing marijuana. That's one of the biggest puzzling things about it. But you a cop are actually for something that most people are against, and you're doing it, and it's targeting mostly minorities. Do you understand the perception of that?
Yeah, it's by definition racist.
So why wouldn't I want to defund people who actively engage in that kind of stuff? Do you want to pay tax money to people who do that kind of stuff? Imagine for a second that was your people.
Well, I mean, it is my people, but okay.
I mean, I know. See, Jason is at. I'm sorry. Jason here. Let me see. Jason in the comment says, "Hey, hey, Jason, how you doing?" So Sky, you said, Sky, to tell me, do you understand why I want to defund the police, based on what I just said, is that if I can't be too sure that you're not going to support something that most people are probably against, who we know that they're actually against, and you won't stop. You like speaking P Diddy, can't stop, won't stop, dinner, you know. Bad boy for
Your
life.
argument right now is terrible. No, you should stick with, articulable facts. Would you not want to defund police who actively support
I'm not making arguments. I'm just
racist
asking
policies?
questions. I'm asking questions. Do you not think that
The question is not phrased very well.
Well, you could choose not to answer it.
Here, no. Let me help you. Okay. Would I not have a vested interest in defunding the people who actively support racist policies? Of course. Of course you would want to do that. That makes logical sense. That's totally rational. If they're doing shit that's illegal, you take their money away.
Do you know how many ways I've said that in the past?
You said it many different ways. Yeah.
I think that hopefully, if I take your advice and I try to do things differently, that the message will be more warmly received. I don't share your optimism.
Warmly received. What do you mean by warmly?
Better received, I should say.
Okay, I think it would be better received by some people. Not like majority of people, but maybe like I'll give you 0.5% or whatever, because again, not accounting for crazy people, I think it would fare you slightly better, marginally better.
All right. We have a caller. We're gonna call this number back from a 509 number, so we're gonna call him back right now.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
I won't be able to hear him, so I'll just tune into the stream then.
How you doing, caller? Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, this is 509. This is Devil's Advocate with the Pitchfork podcast. I see you tried to call this number.
Yes.
All right. So you have an opinion about the show, or you want to share your thoughts on the topic?
Well, I kind of do have an opinion about your show that you have right now.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, your show's about Black Lives Matter, right? And defunding the police.
Well, the show is about
defunding the police and supporting Black Lives Matter, correct?
The show specifically, the show's topic today is about defunding the police and changing my mind, but I do support BLM, yes. The sentiment, not the movement.
Yeah? The sentiment. Oh, okay. Well, so the thing that I got is my children are half black. When people say Black Lives Matter, to me it seems like my children only half matter.
Why would you ever reach that conclusion? Who from Black Lives Matter has ever said that?
Half the people that talk to me that are on that side
Do
immediately
you think that is a prevailing view of Black Lives Matter? Because I can tell you, I've talked to one of the organized. Wait, Scott. Do you legitimately believe that? I'm being very, very serious.
Yes, I legitimately believe that.
I'm sorry. I don't know how far y'all into this. Is he talking right now?
No. Scott, let just let him talk. So again, I'm very, very curious as to why you believe this, right? I'm very, very curious, right? I'm very curious because.
Okay. Okay. You're curious why I believe this? Name one town that was rioted, looted, and protested because a white person was killed by the police officers.
Oh, I can name you several.
Several.
Okay.
Several.
Well, first, we're gonna go to the live scene. Are you ready for this?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. So number one, You say riots, right? Is that all you want? Is that your only criteria? Are you sure about this?
No, it's not. It's not my only criteria.
Okay.
I said riot. No. You only half listened. You heard the word riot. Listen, riot, loot, and protest.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you one time. Lower
Not
your
just
voice.
riots,
I'm gonna tell you
not
one
just-
time. Now I'm gonna mute you. Lower your voice. I've been respectful.
Louder,
Okay, well the
because
next time be a little
I'm
bit more
currently
respectful
around
because
heavy
I'm being respectful
machinery.
to you. Okay.
Yes, but I'm currently around heavy machinery, so I have to be a little louder so
No,
that people can hear
but the
me.
whole
I don't
half
know how
listen
what
thing
you
that
can
has
hear.
nothing that has nothing to do with
But
machinery.
you said, and I quote, the only criteria is rioting.
I asked you a question. I didn't say that you said anything.
You said if the only criteria
I said is the only
rioting,
criteria
then I
because
have
again
something to show
even
you.
the inflection of
And
my
I-
voice, even the inflection of
And
my
I never-
voice.
I know. And
Right.
I never said that the only criteria was
Now
rioting.
I'm gonna
I
post
said
something in
rioting,
the chat. Okay.
looting, and protesting.
I'm
I
gonna give
haven't
you a
seen
list
it. I
of
haven't
all the
heard of it
riots.
on the national news.
I'm
haven't
gonna
seen
give
it
you a
or
list
heard
of
it on
all
the
the
national
riots
news.
in American history from the 1800s until now.
No.
No.
Black
You
Lives
made a
Matter
claim,
hasn't
sir.
been around since. Black Lives
It doesn't
Matter. Has not
matter.
been around
You
since
said
the 1800s.
you didn't make that criteria before.
No.
You
Black
literally
Lives Matter is
didn't.
what we're
Yo,
speaking
do
about.
you
We're not
realize this is
speaking
actually
of-
live? People
Black
can actually hear
Lives
this.
Matter. You asked me why I think Black Lives Matter.
So
Why
I can only
children
compare.
Only half matter when
So
people
you
say
want to hold Black Lives Matter
Now,
and organization.
I'm holding the organization as Black Lives Matter accountable for
Do
their
you know how
actions.
many
That's
riots
what
that
I'm
have
saying.
happened in the past 10 years? A lot. For various reasons.
How many
Sports, people, taxation, no water in the freaking town, white people being killed, black people being killed, Asian people being killed. There was a Native American that was killed in freaking Seattle that caused a freaking consent decree to be placed on the city of damn Seattle. So it wasn't just white people or Asian people or freaking Latino people or even black people. It was multiple races. What are you talking about?
Multiple races in the last 10 years?
Yes.
Let's see, in the last 2-3 years, the last few riots I heard about.
No, you
St.
just
Louis
said 10
with-
years.
St.
Now,
Louis-
Black Lives Matter has
No,
been
you-
around
you-
since
you-
2013.
You said.
So you can't
you
say
said
past
10
two or 3 years. No. Go since the creation of Black Lives Matter. Since the creation of it, there's been several riots perpetrated by white people.
How many of those made
It
national
doesn't
news?
matter what the reasoning was. The riots happened.
No. How many of those had national? How many of those had national?
Several.
National support.
Several.
How many of those had? Several.
Yeah.
Several.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to know what I've heard from CNN, NBC, ABC?
I don't
Fox
care
News,
what they
all of
said.
them?
I'm talking about reality. What
That's
is
what I'm
the
saying.
reality on the ground?
Reality-
I just posted you
wanna
a
talk
link
about
in the freaking chat.
reality.
I just posted you a link.
You want?
I'm giving you the proof.
Okay.
You asked for evidence, I actually provided it. Did I not?
Okay. You provided what? What is it that you provided?
A whole list of civil unrest and riots in American history. A whole shit ton of them.
American history.
Yes. From
Why does everything always have to
from
go
the
back-
1800s until present. You made a claim, sir, and your claim is not true. Period.
No, my claim claim is true.
No, it's not.
My claim is true because
it's not.
you say you speak to people. You say you speak to people, but I've spoke to many Black Lives Matter people.
Okay.
And they look at me, they see my white skin, and they immediately assume he's white, he's racist, he hates me.
Okay, let me go ahead and read to you.
immediately
Hold on,
assume
wait.
that.
Again, I'm going to tell you to be quiet now. You made a claim. I'm going to read to you the proof that what you claim is not true. Okay? Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Are you ready for? Are you sure? Because again, when you said white people, I instantly thought Antifa are mostly white. So they already prove that you're wrong.
Oh.
Yeah.
So people can't have more than one. People can't have more than one.
You made a claim, sir.
They follow.
You made a claim.
So you're telling me Antifa's white supremacies?
I didn't say that. What does white supremacy even have to do with this freaking
conversation?
What does white supremacy have to do with this conversation? You made a claim that has nothing to do with white supremacy whatsoever. You made a claim. I disproved your claim. All I had to do was just mention Antifa, and you're completely wrong, sir.
I'm completely wrong because I've had several, not one, not two. I have.
You made a claim. When's the last time was there
75, 80 different times I've spoken?
Would you like to reword your claim?
That
would you now like to reword your claim?
I am saying the same thing. My
no,
claim
you're not.
Is that my children, when people say Black Lives Matter, my children only half matter.
I have never heard anyone from Black Lives Matter ever say that. I would never say that, and I would think that me being a guy that's traveled.
Obviously, you're not talking to the ones that are out there.
So you think that you as a white guy, so you think that you as a white guy talk to more BLM people than I do when I'm actually a figurehead for the goddamn movement. Really? Hey, listen. Let's start over. You first came in with something that I thought was absolutely ridiculous. Even Sky thought was ridiculous. And Sky has spent over the past hour criticizing me, giving me constructive criticism. Even he kind of thought it was ridiculous because you were making a big claim with zero evidence. Now, this whole conversation is about defund the police. It's not about Black Lives Matter. It's not about the children. It's not about how people have treated you. Because again, I can't account for that. I can't count those people. I don't know those people. Okay, the only thing that we got is right now.
You've got to understand. You want people on your side. Everybody, and that's not just you. It's not just them. And it's the.
I don't know those people.
Go around attacking people.
I don't know those people. I'm not attacking you. You came at me with claims, sir. You came at me with claims.
Yes, I came at you.
And you were wrong.
Because I have been.
What you're saying has nothing to do with the topic that we're talking about. Defund the police.
Okay.
That's the title of the stream. Is it not?
Yes, you defund the police and Black Lives Matter.
No, defund the police and Black Lives Matter are not one and the same. A lot of people who are part of defund the police don't even like Black Lives Matter. Like me, for example. Okay. I don't like the organization. I agree with the freaking sentiment. I don't like the organization. So no, with just me alone, you're wrong.
Why not? But I thought you were a figurehead of the organization.
Because I speak for them. That's it. That does not mean that I agree with everything. Okay, so what you're saying is because Donald Trump was the leader of the freaking Republican Party, every time Ted Cruz says something, that he also believes what Ted Cruz fucking believes. That's dumb. Think about it, man.
Okay. Yeah, you're sitting here making those arguments, and other people can't make that type of argument.
They can if they want to. I can't control people. That's the point that I'm making. I can't speak for everybody. You're speaking to me now. Listen, debate me on what I say. I can't debate on behalf of other people. Speak to me based on what I say. Okay. The point of the show is defund the police. What do you believe about defunding the police?
Okay. What do I believe about defunding the police?
Right.
Well, okay. One of the things that you said that police are running around just shooting innocent black people.
Is that what I said?
Is that 100% true?
No. In fact, I think I've went out of my way. If you watch my video response to Adam Calhoun's racism, I even specifically said that it happens to white people, Latinos. I just said just now that
I'm not saying white people, Latino. I'm asking. Do they run around just murdering people left and right?
Yes, most don't, but enough do to the point where it's a major concern.
Oh. So defunding them and taking away their money and sending and
Yes.
and
They murder people.
making it harder for them to educate themselves on the law and educate themselves on what's going on, because you want to defund them as a repercussionary. You know, the good ones leave, and all you have left are the ones that you're bitching about.
Do you even know what my position is? Because that is the most ass backwards way of interpreting anything that I just said. Which shows you didn't listen to anything that I just said. I went through almost 2 hours explaining my damn position, and you didn't catch none of that.
I did.
What I said was very, very simple. I said, no, I don't think that we should fire all freaking officers. That's just stupid. What I'm saying is that police officers, because they have such high quality equipment, all right, and because they barely get any training as compared to many other countries. I want to see their training increase, but also at the same time defund them so that we can reallocate money so that they can't go on freaking drug war raids, no knock warrants, no more military goddamn no more military gear. And if they have access to military gear, then civilians should have access to the same thing. If they get fully automatic weapons, you should too. And hold on, wait, that should be the deal. Anything that cops have access to, you should also have access to.
Can you explain this to me? Why does my police department not have fully automatic weapons?
I don't know.
Maybe it's not an issue with the police, but it's an issue with the people writing the laws.
Stop it. All right, listen.
No.
If you say that again, I'm gonna end the conversation.
Who funds the police?
That has nothing to do with defunding the police. We're talking about that issue in particular. All right, I can see now you're not serious. At every turn.
Now you're gonna hang up on me.
I'm trying not to.
Because I'm asking you.
I'm trying not to.
You want to?
I'm trying not to.
You said you want to defund the police, correct?
You're giving nothing but personal anecdotes. You're not giving me anything to even like go with, dude.
Okay. I'm not gonna give you a personal anecdote. Okay. You said defund the police, right?
Do you understand what that means? First off.
Yes, I understand what that says.
Okay. No.
I hear you.
Repeat to me. Repeat to me what you think that means.
Defund the police means you want to take military-grade weaponry from the police. You want to take the military-grade armory from the police. You want to also take the funding that's allocated for the police and lower it so that they, because
did I ever say lower it?
As you stated, they're not a 500 in basketball.
Did I ever say lower it?
Do what?
Did I say lower or reallocate?
Lower, reallocate. Where are you going to reallocate it to?
I think I said it no less than like 7 times already.
Okay, where are you going to reallocate it to?
Mental health services.
Okay.
So that when you have a mental health breakdown or when you have a homeless person, you don't have police officers or men with guns interacting with an unarmed homeless guy. So therefore, that person doesn't have a reason to be fucking shot. Because I don't think a man. I don't think a man with a gun. Hold on, wait. Excuse me. I'm talking. Okay. I don't think a man with a gun can possibly help a homeless guy, especially like a homeless veteran who has PTSD, who probably just needs treatment, but because he's afraid to express his feelings, because if he says the wrong thing, then a police officer might take it the wrong way. Do you know how I know that veteran story actually exists? Because that was me. Okay. So I want you to understand.
You're allowed,
excuse me. I'm talking. I'm talking.
Hold on.
No, I am talking. I'm not done yet. Now, with that being said, the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, it's not just that I hate the police, because again, I say hyperbolic things like that just to get your attention. Because here you are, right? But the point of what I'm saying is that in any other arena, we would defund and reallocate money if there appears to be a problem. Now, when you look at cities like Seattle, the Seattle Police Department, they are currently under a federal consent decree that they have not been in compliance with. In fact, a federal judge even said so. So when you look at defunding their police department, what they're going to do is they're going to reallocate things so that they get civil rights training and constitutional training, because they are currently under a federal consent decree. They've tried everything else. They went to the federal government, and yet the cops still can't fix themselves. So for scenarios like that, right, your only choice is education, and the only way you're really going to do that is by reallocating not only reallocating the funding, but also the training, so that it's less about military training and more about understanding that you are a public servant and you are to act like a servant. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Does that make any sense to you?
Yes. It makes sense to me to a point.
What's the point that you don't see?
Well, I'll try to iterate my point, but every time I try to iterate my point, you go off on a tangent. How I'm not allowed to use anecdotal evidence when you use the anecdotal evidence.
What anecdote did I use?
I know this because it's happened to me. That's anecdotal.
That I'm a homeless veteran? No, it's actually in a VA medical file.
No.
Would you like to actually see it? And
Yes,
also,
yes.
my roommate from combat.
Yes.
My roommate from combat is
Yes,
actually on the line.
understand.
Sky is
Hold
right
on,
there.
Hold on. I understand that you have been a homeless veteran. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand that, but that is considered anecdotal evidence.
Not when I have my best friend from combat sitting right there who can fucking tell you that shit.
It's
Not
still
when
anecdotal.
I'm getting paid 100%,
My
well,
wife-
100%
my
VA
wife-
compensation based also upon that as well. That is the federal government.
Sir, my wife can coincide with my anecdotal evidence to make it.
Then get her
as
on.
valid as your anecdotal
Then
evidence.
get her here.
So I mean, why can't my anecdotal
Because your
evidence
shit
be
doesn't
valid
make any
if yours-
sense. Next topic.
Oh, okay.
If you want my honest opinion about how I feel about it, well, I just told you the stuff that you were saying made no damn sense. Well, I feel that people from Black Lives Matter said that my children are only half bullshit. Show me somebody. Get somebody again. If you say that all these people exist, you should have no issue getting them here. Then
Okay.
get them here.
I'm gonna quote you something.
No,
that
don't
has
quote
been
me
said-
shit. Show me. Link me.
What do you want me to do? Email it
Link
to
me.
you?
Link me.
What do you want me to do?
Post
Email
it.
to
Post
you?
it in the live chat. Post it in the live chat.
I can't.
Really?
I can't post in your live chat because
Bullshit.
you've
Bullshit.
Oh, really?
Bullshit.
Really?
Even if okay,
Really?
so I tell you what, I'm gonna turn on something real quick. So even if you are banned from the live chat, right, it will still show. And that's through Streamlabs. So Streamlabs, unless you want to call Streamlabs liars, you're not posting shit in here. So there we go. Streamlabs OBS is right there. Now I want you to show me where you're trying to post. It's right there. That's my chat right there, sir. Show me. In fact, I'm gonna go over to not the top chat, but live chat. Stop lying, sir. Please stop lying.
I'm posting.
No, I'm
now.
calling you out live on air and showing people how much of a liar you actually
okay,
are.
Okay. Here's what I posted. Really? It does. Hello? Hi, I'm posting. Do you see it?
I don't see anything there. You could claim whatever you want to claim. I don't see anything there.
Do you have an email
Anything.
address so I can send you a screenshot?
Yes, there's email addresses all on my channel, and that further lets me know you're not an actual subscriber, because if you were, the fucking about tab has had the same exact email for the past 6 years. So if you are an actual subscriber, you would never ask that goddamn question. Stop it. Just stop it.
Subscribed to you.
There's also a Discord chat.
Yes, also a Discord chat too.
When you had 1,000
It's also a Discord chat.
subscribers.
There's also a Discord chat. There's also a Discord chat. I'm waiting.
I don't have Discord. I don't have
Oh
Discord.
my God! So you ain't got Discord. You claiming that you're posting things, and I'm actually showing that you're not posting shit. And on top of that, you giving me nothing but anecdote. All right, sir. Listen. I've tried with you. I really have. But good day, sir. Good day. Good day. Good day. Yeah. You're not gonna
Discord is
waste.
free.
Yeah. See, listen. Sky, are you there? Listen, I did what I could. Do you see what I mean now?
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
Yeah. So Sky, do you see? I tried.
So for that, I think he could very easily fix his issues if he didn't try to pander to crazy people or to irrational people. When you approach people who say things like, "Oh, your kid's only half black. He's piece of shit," or whatever. That's crazy. That's irrational. That's not really something you have to pander to.
I don't think that actually happened though. I think that he was full of shit because the more that he kept talking, it was like, wait a minute.
Well, I mean, listen, we don't have to assume that it's true or false. If it did happen, there's no need to pander to those people. They're crazy, not worth your time. You only get so much of this life to actually do shit in, and it's just a waste of time to sit there and try and reason with actually crazy people.
Well, my whole thing is that he kept saying, well, there's people from the Black Lives Matter movement. They were sitting there jumping on me, and they were saying that my kids are only half black. It's like Colin Kaepernick is light skinned, his mama is white, and yet BLM stood behind him. Bullshit. Bullshit. I don't believe a fucking word he goddamn said. And again, he said like, well, I'm posting in your fucking live chat. Even if I put you in timeout or moderate your comments, it would still show up in goddamn Streamlabs. Bullshit. Again, people can't keep it real for a second, and a lot of people, they actually subscribe to my channel. They will say, the thing that they like about me is that I'm real, I'm honest. That even when I probably shouldn't say something, I still say it. I think that's the reason why people like me so much. When you get people that's like that, that's just so full of shit, it's like, I don't believe a word he had to goddamn say. I don't believe it. I don't believe that anybody approached him and said that, oh, because your kids are light skinned, they aren't black. I just can't picture somebody, a bunch of grown people, just going to kids and just saying that.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I can't fucking picture that.
But if let's say if that were to happen, right? It's saying that it is going to happen. Let's say if that were to happen, for any other sane person, you wouldn't treat them like they were sane people. You would, quickly remove your kids from them, tell them to fuck off, and not interact with them. Because they're not rational people. They're not going to make rational decisions.
So he said, well, name one time that white people riot. I'm like, wait a minute. Have you ever heard of fucking Antifa?
I think he said white people riot over the death of a white person. Or
That's happened.
Not white people riot, but people riot.
That's still
over
happened
the,
plenty of times. What the fuck?
Police murder of a white person.
That's happened plenty of times.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not a relevant question.
Yeah, it's not.
It doesn't matter who the person they kill or murder. Rather, it's the fact that they murder. Period. That isn't good.
Right. I'm just not. Again, I didn't approach it from a racial standpoint. I don't think defund the police is a racist position.
No, I think for the most part they only take you to a racist position because you are black.
Exactly, and that's why I was going. I was like, where did I mention race here? I didn't mention. Yeah, I might have put like BLM up there, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily an argument about black people. I'm only saying Black Lives Matter because I always say that.
Okay.
that doesn't mean that defund the police is necessarily a racial statement. I think most people who are saying defund the police, I mean, given that black people are only 13% of the population, if that movement got any traction, you have to have an awful lot of white people saying that shit too now. So, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm just confused.
You'll get a lot of people saying it's virtue signalers that do that, but honestly, you know, the police brutality affects all of us. You know, because even if you're sitting there at the house minding your own business, and you know nobody comes into your house and accidentally murders you, you know, you're still going to pay the price for who they murder. You know, whether you want to or not.
Yeah, especially when the freaking lawsuits come, you're still going to pay the goddamn price. And it is what it is, man. It's just like that was my whole thing, is that people like him use BLM as a stand-in for black people. I don't even think that he has fucking black kids. He just made that shit up.
I mean, there's no need to make that distinction.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it because he made so many assumptions about fucking me. So guess what? You want me to believe that number one, you have black children, that you're calling me from your work phone, that you can't join Discord, you can't post anything in the live chat, even though I'm showing them you clearly can. And on top of that, you're claiming that people from the Black Lives Matter movement, the majority, again, he said the majority. I said, I even asked you, I said, do you think that is a mainline position of the Black Lives Matter movement? I specifically asked that fucking question.
Wait, what?
I specifically asked that question.
What was the question?
I said, do you think that discrimination against light-skinned people is a main viewpoint of the Black Lives Matter movement? He said, yeah. I said, I don't believe anything else you have to say going forward. I'm like, that's such a ridiculous position. It's like, who? I've seen people from BLM say some pretty extreme shit. I've never heard that before. I mean,
I've heard. This is anecdotal, but you know, I've heard you know, never trust a light skin before by other black people.
Yeah, but that was well before like BLM though.
No, that was 2018. Although it wasn't said in the context of BLM, it was inside a kitchen. And it was in South Carolina. So I mean,
no, it was. I can prove that it was pre-BLM because Kanye West, the college dropout, came out before BLM, and there's actually a skit on the college dropout says, "I want to make sure that these light-skinned niggas never come back in style."
It was when it was said to me. Sorry.
Yeah.
That it wasn't said in the context of BLM. It was just said in the kitchen.
Right. That's like a mainstay of opinion. That's like a bit of a split in the black community. It's not that many people who do it, but it is a sizable population. So people are getting that mixed up with like BLM when that was a kind of common thing well before like BLM, the light skin versus the dark skin, and that links back to like slavery because typically the house Negro was light skin or the slave masters illegitimate child.
Yeah.
And the darkest ones were the field Negroes. So that's why you have this animosity between light skin and dark skin. But in the modern day, nobody really brings that up too much unless it's like is it like a rap song or in like a joking way. I don't think it's a mainstay position, especially given that BLM still behind Colin Kaepernick, who clearly has a white mother. I don't think it's a mainstay of the BLM position if they stood behind him. It just doesn't add up.
No, I don't think so.
So that's why I doubt everything that he's saying now. It's like he showed me too many instances in which he was full of shit. You know, like when someone shows me who they are, I believe them the first time.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, with that being said, hey Sky, I want to thank you for being on the show, guys. That's gonna be it for the show today. Tune in next time. At 1 p.m.
Sorry, real quick. I just want to say that you know, Bomber Fox said I should add that people with mental health problems are more likely to be victims to crimes of perpetrator. I do want to say that whenever I say crazy people, I'm not actually talking about people with mental health problems. I'm talking about people who act irrationally for no good reason.
Sky's definition of crazy is people who just do incredibly stupid things for seemingly no reason.
And not because they don't know any better, but
Just dumb.
they know better. They just do it anyway.
Yeah. So that being said, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. Tune in next time at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you follow me on all social media links. Make sure you go and check out Sky on the Authority Gamer server. And also, I love you all. Be safe. Wear a mask. Don't get COVID. And don't get COVID. Horns up. Peace out.